Okay, so we are now at Callan for business.
Yeah, of course,
Okay,
this is the first time.
first
I
time.
haven't bought the textbook yet,
No problem, no
but
problem.
maybe first time is it's okay.
It's okay, yeah, that's correct.
Mm.
Until you get, until even if you haven't got the book,
No, no, no,
then
no.
you just start when you have the book.
Mm.
Okay, so let's start
Mm.
Callan for business. It's just like
Mhm.
the same as the regular Callan, only
Mm.
the words are
Mm.
different.
Well,
Okay,
so different.
so let's start with Newark.
New
Okay,
work, ne?
so okay, repeat
Okay.
senior,
Senior,
junior,
junior,
technical.
technical,
Very good. So in business, when we say senior, it is an
senior,
adjective. It means
adjective,
higher in standing or rank than other
extending rank,
person
other person,
in the same position.
the same
For
position.
example, there are several people
Several
here who are
people here
seniors to
are
me.
senior to meet.
Junior is
Senior
an adjective. It
adjective,
means having a low rank in an
having a
organization or
low rank
profession.
organization
For
profession.
example, I would have a problem working for a boss who was 10
So,
years my
what's
junior
10 years?
because I used to have a boss much older than me.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
very good. Okay, it means younger.
Mm.
Technical. The word technical is an adjective.
Adjective.
Technical ability is the ability to do the difficult things that you have
Difficult
to do
thing.
in order to play music, do a sport, do a
Do
job,
sport, do a
etc.
job,
For
etc.
example, in my opinion, a
Opinion,
person's technical
person's
skills are
technical
more
skills
important
are more
in enabling
important in
someone to rise to a senior
to
position
rise
in
to
a
a
company than
position
their
in a
social skills.
company. Social skills.
Very good. So let's
おー、
practice.
わかんないね。
So, in your opinion, which is more important in enabling someone to rise to a senior position in a company? Technical skills or their social skills? In your opinion, which is more important in enabling someone to rise to a senior position in a company? Their technical skills or their social skills? In my opinion,
In my
a
opinion,
person's
a person's
technical
social skills
are more important
are more
in
important
enabling someone
than building someone
to rise to a
to
senior
rise to
position
a senior
in a
position
company
in the
than
company
their technical
than their
skills.
technical skills.
Wait, would you have any problem working for a boss who was 10 years your junior? Would you have any problem working for a boss who was 10 years your junior? Yes or no?
No,
I wouldn't
I
have a
wouldn't
problem
have a
working
problem
for a
working
boss
for a
who was
boss
10
who
years
was 10
my
years
junior.
my junior.
Very good. Next, repeat.
Attach,
Attachment.
attachment,
Submit.
submit,
Expenses.
expenses,
Newsletter.
newsletter,
Print out.
print out,
Body text.
body text.
Very good. Okay, listen. Attach is a verb. It means to fasten or join one thing to another. For example, we attach a recent photograph on our application form. Attachment is a noun. It is a document or file that is sent by email. For example, I usually send a document as an attachment to my email. Submit is a verb. It means to give a document, proposal, piece of writing, etc. to someone so that it can be considered or approved. For example, if you're applying for a job, you need to submit your application form to the reception desk. Expenses is a noun. It is the money that you spend on things such as travel and food while you're doing your job, and which your employer then pays to you or refund you. For example, when someone goes on a business trip, one can claim their meal or expenses.
Expenses.
When submitting a claim for expenses, an employee needs to attach receipt to the claim form as a proof of how the money was spent. Okay, newsletter is a noun. It is a short written report that tells about the recent activities of an organization and that is usually sent to members of the organization. For example, the society publishes a newsletter twice a year. Print out is a phrasal verb. To print out means to produce a paper copy of a document that is on a computer. Body text is a noun. It is found when writing a new email message. The message or body text contains the complete message. For example, if I were emailing a newsletter to colleagues and I expect them to print it out, I'd include the newsletter as an attachment because they could just download it and had it printed out so quickly. So let's practice. When submitting a claim for expenses, does an employee need to attach receipt to the claim form as proof of how they spent the money? When submitting a claim for
When
expenses,
submitting a
does an
claim for
employee
expenses,
need to
the
attach receipt
employees need to
to
attach
claim
a
for
receipt to claim
as
for
proof of
as
how the
proof
money was
of
spent?
how the money was spent.
Yes, when submitting. Okay?
Yes,
Yes,
when
when
sorry. Yes,
submitting
when
a
submitting
claim form
a claim
for expenses,
for
an
expenses,
employee
an
needs to
employee
attach
need to attach
receipts to the claim
receipts
form
to the claim
as
for
proof of
as
how the
proof
money
of
was sent,
how the money was
spent.
spent.
Right? If you were emailing a newsletter to colleagues and you expected them to print it out, would you include the newsletter as an attachment or put it in the body text of the email? If you were emailing a
If
newsletter to
you are
colleagues
emailing
and
newsletter
expected
to
them to
colleagues
print out,
expected to sorry
expected them to print
sorry.
out, would you include the newsletter as an attachment or put it in the body text of the email? If I were
If
emailing
I
a
were email
newsletter
you to a
to
newsletter
colleagues
to
and I
colleagues
expected
and
them
I
to print
expected
it out,
them to print it out,
I'd
I'd
I'd put
I
it
would
as an
I put
attachment.
I'd
I'd include it
I included
as an attachment.
as an attachment
Very good. Why? Why? Because
because
it reduces the
it
size
reduces the size
of the email.
of the email.
Very good. Like repeat,
Mm,
promote,
promote,
promotion,
promotion,
leaflet.
leaflet,
Very good. Okay, listen, promote is a verb. It means to help something happen, develop, or increase. For example, a national government can promote recycling habits among the general population by teaching children about recycling at school, sending out leaflets, building more recycling centers, etc. Promote also means to give someone a better or more responsible job in a company, like promoted. For example, my friend was promoted to senior manager. Promotion is the noun of the verb promote. For example, I have never asked my boss for a promotion at work. Leaflet is a noun. It is a small book or piece of paper advertising something or giving information on a particular job or subject. For example, students were handing out election leaflets at the station. Let's practice. How can the national government promote the habit of recycling among the general population? How can the national government promote the habit of recycling among the general population? A national
a
government
national
can promote
government can promote
recycling
some
habits
recycling
among
habits
the general
among
population
the general
by
population
teaching children
by teaching
about
children
recycling at
about
school,
recycling at
sending
school,
out
sending
leaflets,
out
building
leaflets,
more
building
recycling
more
centers,
recycling centers,
etc.
etc.
Have you ever asked your boss for a promotion at work? Have you ever asked your boss for a promotion at work? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
have never asked
never asked
my boss for
my
a
boss
promotion at
for
work.
a promotion at work.
Very good. Next, repeat. In the red,
In the red,
in the black.
in the black,
Very good. Okay, listen. In business, when we say in the red, it means to be spending and owing more money than it is being earned. For example, apparently the company has been in the red, so it's been losing money for some time before it went out of business. In the black is the opposite of in the red, which means making a profit or making money. For example, the company is finally in the black or profitable. Let's practice. Is it better for a business to be in the red or in the black? Is it better for a business to be in the red or in the black? It's better
it's
for a
better
business
for a
to
business
be in the black.
to be in the black.
Very good. Next, repeat debit card,
Debit card,
current account,
current account,
overdraft,
overdraft,
balance,
ba- balance,
cover.
cover.
Right. So cover means cover an expense or cover a cost for
Hmm,
to pay for it.
okay.
Okay. Listen, debit card is a noun. It is a small plastic card that is used to buy things by having the money to pay for them taken directly from your bank account. For example, they always put my salary on my debit card. Current account is a noun. It is a bank account from which you can take money away by writing checks. For example, we're more likely to be offered a debit card when we open a current account. When we say current account, it's like a checking account.
Checking account.
Overdraft is
Checking
a
account.
noun. It is the amount of money you owe the bank when you have spent more money than you had in your account. For example, the
Mm.
most common reasons people have for applying an overdraft on their current account is that the balance of their account is too low to cover all their expenses. Balance is a noun. It is the amount of money in a bank account. For example, my bank balance isn't good and it's not even enough to pay to buy a new shirt. Cover means to pay for something. For example, my checking account balance will not cover the check. He has enough money to cover tuition, but he can't afford to buy textbooks he needs. Let's practice. Which type of card are we more likely to be offered when we open a current account, a debit card or a credit card? Which type of card are we more likely to be offered when we open a current account, a debit card or a credit card? We're more likely
We are
to
more
be
likely
offered a
to
debit
be
card
offered a
when
debit
we
card
open a
when
current
we
account.
open a current account
Why? Why? Because a debit
because
card
a
is
debit
used
card
more
is
often
used more
than a credit
often
card.
than a credit card.
What's the most common reason people have for applying for an overdraft on their current account? What's the most common reason people have for applying for an overdraft in their current account? The most common
The
reason
most common
people
reason
have for
people have
applying for
for
an
applying
overdraft
for an
on their
overdraft
current account
on their current
is that the
account is
balance
that
of
the
their account
balance
is
of
too
their
low
account is
to
too low
cover all their
to cover
expenses.
all of their expenses.
Very good. Next, repeat executive,
Executive
decision making,
decision making,
high ranking,
hierarchy, high ranking,
CEO,
CEO,
or chief executive officer,
chief executive officer,
managing director,
managing director,
president.
president.
Very good. Okay, listen. Okay, by an executive, we mean someone who holds a senior position in a company's management team and who has a high level of responsibility for decision making. The most high ranking executive have job titles such as CEO, managing
CEO,
director, president, etc. CEO is perhaps the most common of these titles.
most common
Let's practice.
title.
What do we mean by an executive? What do we mean by an executive? By an
By
executive,
an
we
executive,
mean
we
someone
mean
who holds
someone
a
who
senior
holds
position
a senior
in a
position
company's
in
management
the
team
company's
and
management
who has
team
a
who
high
has
level
a high
of
level of
responsibility for
responsibility
decision making.
for decision making.
Wait, what job title might the most high ranking executives in a company have? What job title might the most high ranking executive in a company have? The most high
The
ranking
most high-ranking
executives have job
executive
titles
have job
such
titles
as CEO,
such as CEO,
managing director,
managing director,
president, etc.
president, etc.
Very good. Next, repeat. Shift.
Shift.
Very good. Okay, listen. Shift is a noun. It is a group of people who work together during a scheduled time. For example, I think working night shift for a long time is bad for people. Shift also means workers in a factory, hospital, etc., who work shift or do shift works. They work for a particular time during the day or night and are then replaced by others so that there are always people working 24 hours. For example, some jobs where shift works are common are police officers, nurses, doctors, etc. Okay, let's practice. Name some jobs where shift work is common. Name some jobs where shift work is common, please. Some jobs
Some
where shift
jobs
work is
where shift
common
work is
are police
common
officers,
are police officer,
nurses, doctors,
nurses,
etc.
doctors, etc.
Do you think working night shifts for a long time is bad for people? Do you think
Yeah.
working night shifts for a long time is bad for people? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
think
think
working night shifts
working
for
night
a long
shift
time
for a long
is bad
time
for
is
people.
bad for people.
Very good. Next, repeat leisure.
Leisure,
Take part,
take part,
perform,
perform,
performance.
performance.
Very good. Okay, listen. Leisure is a noun. It is the time when you are not working, the time when you can do whatever you want to do. For example, in my leisure, I read books, paint, etc. Take part is a verb. It means to participate in something. For example, I think colleagues tend to perform better as a team at work if they also take part in leisure activities together outside work. Perform is a
Oh,
verb. It means to
oh,
do an
oh,
action or
oh,
activity that usually requires training or skills.
oh,
Performance is the noun of the verb perform. For example, some companies put a limit on the number of hours their employees are allowed to work each week because an employee's performance can suffer if they work too many hours and don't get enough leisure time.
get enough leisure time.
Let's
Mm,
practice. Do you think colleagues tend to perform better as a team at work if they also take part in leisure activities together outside work? Do you think
mm.
colleagues tend to perform better as a team at work if they also take part in leisure activities together outside work?
あ、そう
Yes
です
or
か。
no?
Yes, I
I think
think
colleagues tend to
colleagues
perform
tend to
better
perform
as a team
better
at
as a
work
team
if they
at
also
work
take
if
part
they also take
in leisure
part
activities
in leisure activities
together outside work.
together outside work.
Why do some companies put a limit on the number of hours their employees are allowed to work each week? Why do some companies put a limit on the number of hours their employees are allowed to work each week? Some companies
Some
put a
companies
limit
put
on the
a
number
limit on
of
the number
hours their
of hours
employees are
their
allowed to work
employees are allowed to
each
work
week because
each
an
week
employee's
because an
performance
employee's
can suffer
performance
if they work too
suffer if
many
they work
hours
too many
and don't get
hours
enough
and
leisure
don't get
time.
enough leisure time
We're going to repeat at a profit,
at a profit,
at a loss.
at a loss.
Right, like listen, at a profit and at a loss are prepositional phrases. Instead of saying a business is making a profit or making a loss, we can say a business is operating at a profit or operating at a loss, respectively. Let's practice. Instead of saying a business is making a profit or making a loss, what can we say? Instead of saying a business is making a profit or making a loss, what can we say? Instead of saying
Instead
a
of
business
saying
is
a
making a
business
profit
is making
or
a
making a
profit
loss,
or making a
we can
loss,
say a
we can
business
say
is
a
operating
business is
at a profit
operating at a
or
profit
operating at a
or
loss.
operating at a loss.
We're going to repeat learning curve. Huh?
Learning
Learning curve.
curve, learning curve. Oh,
Acquire.
okay. Acquire.
Wait, like, listen, when we say we're on a learning curve, we mean we're busy acquiring new skills or knowledge to do something. For example, when you start a new job, you've often on a steep learning curve for the first week, so you learn everything. Learning curve,
Everything.
like your learning days. Okay, let's practice. Give me an example of the idiom learning curve. Give me an example of the idiom learning curve, please. I've been on a
I've
quite
been
a steep
on quite a
learning
steam,
curve since
a
I
learning
was
curve
promoted
since I was
last
promoted
month.
last month.
We're next repeat objective,
Objective.
commerce,
Commerce.
e-commerce.
E-commerce.
We're gonna listen. Objective is a noun. It is a goal or purpose. For example, the main objective of any commercial organization is to make a profit. Commerce is a noun. It refers to activities that relate to the buying and selling of goods and services.
Commerce.
E-commerce is a noun. It stands for electronic commerce. It is a business of buying and selling things, particularly on a large scale, like online selling.
Online
For
selling.
example, there are some e-commerce applications such as online ticketing and reservations and online
Reservation.
shops. Let's practice. What's the main objective of any commercial organization? What's the main objective of any commercial organization? The main
The
objective
main
of
objective
any commercial
of any
organization
commercial
is to
organization
make a profit.
is to make a profit.
Do you think e-commerce is destroying the high street? Do you think e-commerce is destroying the high street? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think
I think
e-commerce is
e-commerce
destroying the
is
high street.
destroying the high street.
Where high street means like a place with a lot of
Mm.
shops,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a lot of stores.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular personal objectives for this year? Do you have any particular personal
Yeah.
objectives this year? Yes or no?
No, I
I
don't
don't have
have
any particular
any
personal
particular
objectives
personal
for
objectives
this year.
for this year.
Very good. Next, repeat contribute,
Contribute,
contribution,
contribution,
pension,
pension,
fund.
fund,
Very good. Next, funds,
funds,
factor,
factor.
Job
Mm.
satisfaction.
Job satisfaction.
Location.
Location.
Workplace.
Workplace.
Where okay, listen.
Mm.
Contribute is a verb. It means to give something such as money, goods, or time to help a person, group, cause, or organization. For example, we're trying to raise money for a new school, and we're hoping that everyone will contribute. Contribution is a
Mm.
noun of the verb contribute. Pension and fund are both nouns. It is an amount of money that the company of the government pays to a person who is old or sick and no longer works. For example, retired people are living on their pensions. A pension fund is the money that the company invests in order to earn money to pay pensions. Funds is a noun, it means available money. For example, I'm a little short of funds right now. The
Mm.
government in my country contributes funds towards the education of university students. Okay, job satisfaction is enjoyment in your job. Location is a noun. It is a particular place, especially in relation to other areas, buildings, etc. For example, my apartment
Mm.
is in a really good location. Workplace is a noun. It is the room, building, office, etc. where you work. Factor is a noun. It is one of the things that cause something to happen. For example, the various factors that contribute to a person's job satisfaction are the types of work they do, their payment level, their chances of promotion, the location of their workplace, the quality of management, etc. Let's practice. Does the
Mm.
government in your country contribute funds towards the education of university students? Does the government in your country contribute funds towards the education of university students? Yes or no?
Yes,
The government in my
the
country
government in my
contributes
country
funds
contributes
towards
funds
the education
towards
of
education
university
of
students.
university students.
What percentage of working adults in your country do you reckon make regular contributions to pension funds? What percentage of working adults in your country do you reckon make regular contributions to a pension fund? I reckon
I
about
reckon about mm,
how many percent? 10, 20, 50
um, almost person, maybe 50%
percent of working
of
adults
working
in my
adults
country
in
make
my
regular
country make
contributions
regular
to a
contributions
pension fund.
to a pension fund.
Wait, what are the various factors that contribute to a person's job satisfaction? What are the various factors that contribute to a person's job
Mm.
satisfaction? The various
The
factors that
values of
contribute
factors that
to a
contribute
person's job
to a person's
satisfaction
job
are the type
satisfaction
of work
are
they
the
do,
type of work they
their
do,
payment level,
their payment
their
level,
chances of
their
promotion,
chances of a
the
promotion,
location of their
the
workplace,
location of their
the
workplace,
quality of
the
management,
quality of a
etc.
management, etc.
We're going to repeat policy.
Policy.
Regulation policy is a noun. It means an officially accepted set of rules or ideas about what should be done. For example, if I were a business owner, my policy on staff using their personal mobile phones at work would be that cell phones cannot be used on company time aside from breaks and lunch. I think the expression honesty is the best policy should be applied in every business situation.
Oh.
Let's practice. If you're a business owner, what would your policy on staff using their personal mobile phones at work? If you're a business owner, what would your policy be on staff using their personal mobile phones at work? If I were a
If I
business
were
owner,
a business
my
owner,
policy on
my
staff
policy on
using
staff
their personal
using
mobile
their
phones
personal
at
mobile
work
phone
would be
at work
that cell
would be
phones
that cell
cannot be
phones
used
cannot be
on
used
company time
on company
aside
time
from breaks
aside
and
from
lunch.
breaks and lunch.
Wait, why are insurance? Oh, but we can't finish that anymore, so we
Yeah.
stop there for today.
Yeah,
But
I learned
very
a
good.
lot of vocabulary
That's
today.
correct. Find it good, right? Okay, thank you very much. See you again. Bye bye.